Hi, I'm Donna Jordan from Jordan Fabrics. Today we're going to do something really fun. When my first grandchild was born, there was a certain age, maybe 6 or 7 months, where she was very interested in zipper pulls, buttons, any sort of tag, any sort of little detail. And that gave me the idea for a quilt, a tummy time quilt, an activity blanket, something that would give her something to do, something to play with, something fun. So let me show you what I made. So this is what we call a tummy time blanket. It's got all the fun stuff that babies just love to play with and examine, little teeny details, things they like to pull and finger. I had a bag of clothes that I was taking to the Goodwill, and the idea just came to me, wait a minute, there's a lot of things in those clothing that I could use to make a quick blanket with. Now this is not made for beauty, this is made for function. This is for a baby, and they don't really care if the colors don't match or your patchwork doesn't line up. They may not even play with it for very long, which is why you want to make it quickly and get it right to the baby, right when they're at that stage when they love all these little things. You can probably tell this has been washed 100 times. This is on baby number 3 now. Now this is not meant for a sleeping blanket, and this is not meant for you to leave alone with the baby, because these things potentially could come off. Even though I sewed everything on very securely, you wouldn't want to leave a little baby alone with these things because some of them might be choking hazards. So I have a bag of some well-loved items that I've freshly washed, and I'm going to go ahead and cut out some fun parts of them, see what kind of quilt we can make. Here's a fun item. It's got a little alligator on the tag here. It's part of a pocket, and these are the kind of things that are fun for little people to play with. So we're just going to make a rough cut of the area we want, and we've got all these different items that might make good patches in our quilt. And this is just the top of a shoe. I just cut around the shoe, and we're going to stitch that right onto a patch because the strings are really fun to play with. We're going to be making 9 blocks so I can make a 3x3 block quilt. Once you have all of your items you might use, you need to get some fabric. So let's go down to the retail store, get some fabric for the background and the borders. Since I have a lot of different colors in the items I'm going to put on the squares, I'm going to want to get something fairly plain for the background, and then we'll get something a little bit more colorful for the borders. Now I could use a solid, completely solid, but I like to use fabrics that have a little bit of texture in them. So this is what I think I will use. It has a little bit of something going on, so it's not too flat. And then we've got this nice red print over here. It's got some other colors in it. Those two will work really well. We're going to use a yard of this background, and we're going to cut this into 10-inch squares. So if you happen to have some layer cake squares already cut, some extra ones, you can use that too. Now we have 10-inch squares. So let's see about getting some of these guys onto those backgrounds. I think we'll start with these pieces here. We will put the pocket on. We will cover it with this. We'll have a couple nice little alligators. So this piece is trimmed pretty nicely. We'll just straighten it up a little bit. And the pocket I'm going to cut a little bit more smooth. So I think that's straight enough. Now this pocket doesn't actually open, there's just a little flap there. So we are going to put this on the machine and stitch. We're going to use an edge stitch, raw edge stitching. We're not going to turn this under. We're going to leave the raw edges showing, and we're going to sew it twice. So we'll put this on afterwards, but right now I'm going to go around here. And I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to back tack everything. And just go near the edge, about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now I'm going to stitch it again. So I'm just going to start over here, and I'm going to go really close to the edge this time. This should keep everything from fraying. If you want to use a zigzag or a decorative stitch here, you can. Now, trim these threads off, and we are going to add this band to the top. So I'm going to cover that up a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now this has finished edges on it, so it's not going to fray out, but I'm going to have to stitch the ends there, which are raw edges, pretty severely. Now I'm going to pivot, sew down here, and go back and forth a couple of times. When you get here, pivot again and give it really a lot of stitching. So you can see I zigzagged just a little bit, so that's stitched down. That was easy. That block is all done. Now if there's anything on there that doesn't look like it's stitched on securely, like this tag, give it a lot of extra stitching. This one has got quite a bit already, so I think that one is pretty secure. The next block we're going to do is the shoe block. All I'm going to do is even this out a little bit because I didn't cut very smoothly there. Ready for the machine. There's no real easy way to do this. We're just going to smash this down on flat and stitch it on. So I've switched to red thread, and I'm just going to go around the edges a couple of times. Please don't worry if it doesn't feel like it's completely flat. That's okay. Now my machine is fairly heavy duty. If you're doing this on your home machine and you're stitching through leather or something thick like this, you may need to use a heavier needle. I'm going to untie this, and I'm going to stitch the tongue down just a little bit. So we'll open it up, and I'm going to stitch this piece down here. I don't think I can stitch through all of this, so I'm going to stitch these individually. Again, if this is too thick for your machine, you can just cut the tongue out. You don't have to put this part in. I don't want the shoe to actually come untied, so I'm going to just tighten this up a little bit, and I'm going to stitch through these laces so that there's no way this can come untied. So I'm tightening it up just a little bit, and I'm just going to stitch down here to make everything secure. Let's tie a nice tight bow here. I think we'll tie a knot first. A nice bow. And then I think I will stitch this down just a little bit also, and then it can't come untied. The shoe block is all done. Remember, this does not have to be flat. It's supposed to be poking up a little bit. Now this has these little lace endings here. If you don't want to keep those on, you can cut them off and tie the end of this into a hard knot. Something else fun you can do is if you have an extra patchwork block like I've got here, we can take part of this and put it onto the background. Again, I'm just going to cut some extra. And this one I'm actually going to take to the iron, and I'm going to turn under the edges and get some straighter edges here. Now I've got a piece of patchwork. It's not perfectly straight. That's on purpose. And we're going to make a couple of prairie point pieces to stick underneath here. I have some extra of these bright charm squares left. So I'm going to cut these down to 3 inches, and then we're going to fold them twice and iron them. And that's how we make a prairie point. Take these to the ironing board. And if you fold it in half along the diagonal, and then fold it in half again, that's a prairie point. It only has one raw edge, and then these edges are folded, and we're going to tuck this behind the patchwork. For this piece, I'm not going to try to put it on straight. I'm going to put it on a little bit crooked. And then I'm going to tuck some of these guys behind here in random areas. I'll probably put 2 there, and we'll put 1 up here. We'll put 1 right in the middle, and then 1 way up here. And then we'll just top stitch all the way around. I'm going to use black thread here. You've noticed maybe that I changed threads a couple times. You can do it all in the same color thread, or you can change to match the background of what you're stitching. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to top stitch this patchwork part. We're going to leave the prairie points loose so that they can be picked up and moved around. That block is all done. I'm going to use one of these methods on all of the rest of the blocks. We've got 3 nice colorful ones made, and I've got a lot of other things I can use here, so I'm going to go ahead and get all of those stitched up. I have all 9 squares done here, so I'm just going to lay them out kind of at random, and then we'll balance the colors a little bit, and then we'll probably put that in the middle. We are going to cut some sashing or borders to go between these squares, and I'm going to use 2.5-inch strips. I'm going to cut it from yardage, but if you have extra jelly roll strips anywhere, you can use those. Now we're going to take 3 of the strips, and I'm going to cut 10-inch segments. So these 10-inch pieces are just going to go on the ends and between all of these blocks here. So we'll make every row just like that. Now that those rows are done, we need to get the pieces that are going to fill in here. So we're going to take the remaining 4 strips and cut them to 36.5 inches. The top is all done. Really, really fun. It's about 36 inches right now. So I've cut a back that's a little bit bigger and a piece of batting, and we are going to sandwich this up and pin it all around and take it right back to the sewing machine. We're not going to put this on the quilting machine. I wouldn't recommend trying this on a computerized quilting machine because you might hit this, you might hit a zipper, and that might be difficult for your machine to go through. But we can stitch around that on our machine here. I'm just going to stitch close to the edge here to get everything anchored down. Once you have the whole quilt anchored down, you can go ahead and quilt it however you like. I am just going to go around all the red here. You can go in the ditch. I'm going to go just in the red. So I'll show you where I'm going to stitch. This makes kind of a decorative stitch, and it holds everything down very nicely. I quilted around every one of these blocks, and that's all the quilting that I'm going to do. The blocks are kind of stiff, and I realize when this washes it's going to wrinkle up a little bit, but that's okay. I want that. I want this to have a lot of texture. Now you can either trim it off and bind it as you would normally bind a quilt, or you can trim off just the batting and then the backing, and we'll fold it over. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to trim the batting off to about 1/4 inch beyond the quilt here, all the way around. Now I'm going to trim off my extra backing so that it is 1.5 inches beyond this batting here. So I'm going to use my blade and my ruler here. So I'm just going to put the 1.5 inch line here right along that batting, which I can see, and trim off the excess. So this is what I'm going to have left all the way around. Now all I'm going to do is fold the raw edge even with the batting and then fold it over. Now you can pin all the way down the quilt if you like, or you can just start sewing and stitch right near the inside edge. It's almost going to look like binding. When you come to the end, just go all the way off. Then turn it. Fold this side and do the same thing. Just start here and we can go all the way around the quilt like this. My tummy time quilt is all done. I already tried it out on a grandchild and got their approval. I wrote a little pattern for this. Now you're going to have to find your own articles of old clothing and shoes, but it does give you the sizes that you need and some simple directions for putting this together. I might recommend that you take these zipper pulls just all the way off and just leave the zipper on, because then you don't have to worry about this coming off and causing a choking hazard. So remember to get a variety of textures. We've got silk, we've got velour, we've got the shoes, and this doesn't have to be only for a baby. You could make a bigger version with a child's older clothing or even t-shirts. It turned out 36 by 36 inches, and it's just a great activity blanket. Thanks for watching our tummy time tutorial today. We hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you don't want to miss any of our upcoming videos, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Happy quilting!